Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I was originally going to be doing a video talking about the politics of Star Wars, but you know what? I thought I'd do something differently and make a semi-Valentine's Day themed video for Star Wars, since it is Valentine's Day. Originally, I was thinking, you know what? Let's actually rank different, or talk about the different couples that we see in Star Wars, all the different relationships and all that, but you know what? I thought it actually would be more interesting to talk about the Jedi's rule against attachment, why they have that, and is it a good or bad idea? The reason why, well, Anakin is the perfect reason why. He was possessive. It was an unhealthy attachment. He couldn't let go, and look where that led the galaxy. The fall of the Republic, the fall of the Jedi Order, over 20 years of imperial tyranny, and let's not forget we could even talk about the First Order, but Palpatine was probably going to try to do that with or without Anakin. But Anakin helped, so we got, and all because he couldn't stand the fact of losing Padme. And by couldn't standing the fact, he embraced the dark side and trying to save her, which caused him to lose Padme. So yeah, I think there's good reason why the Jedi have that. A Jedi who cannot learn to let go could, in the grief, anger, or whatever, lash out, grab onto the dark side, and it can lead to lots of tragedy. But is that really enough? Because the thing is, it's like, if a Jedi learns to let go, they could probably have a fulfilling romantic relationship. They don't, and then they just know to let go, know when it's over, not cling to it, not possess it like Anakin was. Because Anakin, let's be honest, he was kind of possessive of Padme. You don't see that as much in the prequel trilogy, but you see it pop up more in the Clone Wars. It's not healthy. He's afraid to let go. He lashed out in anger when his mother died, and the fear of losing Padme caused him to fall to the dark side because he couldn't let go. Anakin also, he had people he could go to who could have helped him work through his issues about letting go. Obi-Wan definitely would have helped him. Obi-Wan pretty much knew him and Padme were together. Maybe not to the full extent, but he knew they were seeing each other at the very least. And I suspect Obi-Wan would have been willing to help Anakin learn to let go, learn to, you can appreciate what's now, but know that in the future it won't always be there. Because Obi-Wan, he also had a love interest sitting Grease, a Mandalorian, a pacifist Mandalorian, but still. And he lost her, but he was able to let go, move beyond. You can still tell he has grief, he is sad when Maul kills her, but he doesn't let his grief define him. He doesn't let his grief consume him. He doesn't let his anger consume him. Like, I guarantee you, he still thinks fondly as a teen. He probably at times wishes that maybe things had gone differently, but he does not let it consume. He does not let any fear of loss or the actual loss consume him. He learns to let go. He goes, in a sense, he goes through the stages of grief much quicker than Anakin. Anakin gets stuck at anger. Obi-Wan is able to get to acceptance in a fairly quick time frame, but Obi-Wan also had some practice because his own master had passed away. So he already learned that letting go lesson already. Not to mention him and Satine, long before that even happened, had agreed to part ways. So it also helped that was mutual. They both had their own duties they had to attend to that prevented them from pursuing anything. So there in Obi-Wan we got an example of a Jedi who did have a relationship, who did have a love interest, but was able to let go and the loss did not destroy him. Anakin, on the other hand, the fear of the loss destroyed him, brought him down the dark side. Let's look at some other examples too of counters to Anakin, why maybe the Jedi's rule is too strict. Rey. Okay, Rey really never learned that rule, but you can definitely tell she had a crush on Ben, not Kylo, on Ben. Now that's a whole nother thing to break down. I have a video about that after that Jedi Before Trial, so I need to update that video now that I think about it. But anyhow, it was basically, learning, she wanted to bring him back to the light side, to bring Ben back. And through that, actually Ben did come back, and Ben did what Anakin couldn't, because Ben also had an attraction to Rey. It's clear. But what is, I think, interesting to note is Ben was able to let go, but not really. He I bet he could let go, but he realized he had the ability to bring Rey back. Now he had to let himself go, and Rey had to let him go as a result. But that shows, I think, a slightly healthier way of doing it. Like, yes, he didn't want to lose Rey, but no matter what, one of them was going to be lost anyhow because of all the events. Rey was too badly injured to survive without help, but there was nothing Ben could do without sacrificing himself, without giving up his own force energy to give Rey the chance to heal, the chance to continue to live. It's very different than Anakin, because Ben learned that the only way to really save somebody through the force, to truly save somebody, you have to be willing to let go. And May, just in his case, it was himself. He had to let go of himself for Rey to survive. Not quite the same as good, I think, as the Obi-Wan example, but it does show that relationships can be positive, that attachments can be beneficial. And then let's even talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And this is probably the more interesting one because it's still developing. We don't know how Cal and Merrin's relationship will turn out. We do know one thing is that Merrin knows that Cal is struggling with the dark side and is going to be there for him to help him, stave it off to be pulled back to the light side. That much we do know, but if something happens to her in the third game, I'm not looking forward to the anger that Cal will experience. Just look at how much anger he had when Bold betrayed him and all that. Like, that put Cal on the teeter. If something happens to Merrin, that could really tip Cal over. But Cal has had to learn a lot about loss, but he's not fully in acceptance yet. And I think depending how the story can go, it could go one or two ways, really. And that's the thing is essentially Jedi are not trained properly for the 5 stages of grief. Some, like Obi-Wan, are masters at it. Anakin, he had nothing. They told him, you gotta accept the loss. But they never helped Anakin work through the loss. That's the problem. That's where the Jedi failed Anakin. They, in some ways, like, you just gotta accept it. They forgot everything that leads up. They forgot to actually help Anakin get there. Cal has people in his life who will help him get through stages of grief should the most unfortunate happen. He has people to help him. And that is the keys. The keys that Cal has that Anakin doesn't have, where I think greatly impact how Cal's story will go, but we'll find that out when we get the third game. Now, is there any other point to bring up? Yes. Now we got to talk about, is that rule against attachment a good thing or a bad thing? In some ways it is good, because Jedi do have a lot of power, and if they lose control of their emotions, they could easily fall to the dark side. I've seen with Cal's struggle and with what happened to Anakin. Let's go with what is his name? Dagon from Fallen Order. One, he and Bo too. They both have suffered loss in one form or another, and it drove them both of them to the dark side, and trying to protect what they had left too, especially for Bold's case, which didn't help Cal going on too. But it's all connected. Really, play Survivor if you haven't already. But is it a good idea for the Jedi to have the rule? Largely, yes. However, they make the rules so strict that when the Jedi is struggling with that, they don't feel comfortable going to the Jedi for help. Because in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin does go with Yoda to talk about his visions of fear of law with his Padme. Now, he's cagey about it, but he's very much not telling Yoda the whole truth, and Yoda is only really giving him the surface level advice. Now, granted, I think Yoda had already passed together a lot of stuff as well. He had known that Anakin struggled with loss, hence why he assigned Ahsoka to be Anakin's Padawan. So hopefully at the point where the paths diverge, that will help Anakin learn to deal with loss. It didn't help. And perhaps if Anakin had been more forthright with Yoda, told him the whole story, Yoda might have taken a different approach rather than giving Anakin the regular platitudes. But we don't know, because because of the dogma of the Jedi Order, those strict adherence to it, they were unable, Anakin felt unable to truly go to them, and any Jedi really, even Jedi Obi-Wan, who he has probably a much higher level of trust, and say, this is what's going on, help me. He couldn't do that, and the Jedi in their dogma weren't going to go to him and do it themselves for those who did notice it. And that's what it is the attachment rule, I think largely is actually a good thing for a Jedi. The problem comes with how dramatic they are about it. They hold it in such dramatic that those who have attachment issues don't go to the Jedi for the actual help. And that's where it falls. That's where the Jedi's rule against attachment falls, because one, they don't provide actually proper support, and two, they're focusing on the symptom in a sense, not the cause. And the cause of the attachment issues with Jedi is not the attachment itself. It's the fear of losing that attachment, of letting go of the attachment. Perhaps if the Jedi focus on that more, which I think we might get that with Rey when we get her story after we write the Rise of Skywalker, that might be the way she goes through it more of, okay, attachments will always happen. How do we train Jedi to be able to let go, to help them work through letting go, through the fear of loss? Because I think that's a big thing, especially by the time of the prequel trilogy. The Jedi have become much more dramatic. They don't work through the problems anymore as just say, well, these shouldn't exist. And I think that causes them a lot of problems. But you know what? That is where I'm going to end this video. I want to hear your thoughts on the Jedi's rule against attachments and their handling of it. And their handling is where they fail. They don't support the Jedi through anything they're working through. That's their problem. But thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to give this video a like, upvote, and share. Feel free to subscribe as well, and consider channel memberships if you want to get early access or exclusive content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like, as well as subscribe to my channel and ring that bell to stay up to date on my latest content. Also, be sure to check out the link tree in the description, as well as any other links I have down there.